Dana Abercrombie, The Koalition. Thank you so much for speaking to me. This show, oh my God, it's so needed, it's timely, it's wonderful. But we have to talk about what I love that's so unique about this show is that you use the inanimate objects in order to provide social commentary about racism and everything else that's going on. I was wondering, do you both feel that that helps deliver the message in a unique way? And if so, how do you hope that gets across to its audience?
I for sure definitely think it gets the message out there in a unique way because we're so used to watching political shows or watching shows that just come out and just say it, and sometimes the message gets skewed. But with a show like this, that these inanimate objects could be coming from an internal place. So hopefully the inanimate objects can act as both the voice of the people, but also the voice of characters living inside the show. And I think that I think that when you infuse that type of comedy, whether it be 2D or 3D animation or puppetry, it's just fun. And I think at the end of the day, we never want to lose sight of we do want to inform, but we also want to entertain as well because some people know the message already. You know what I mean? Some people have it. Some people understand it, and some people do need a reprieve from the crap that's going on in the world. They need to just laugh. So hopefully people can receive both information, but if nothing else, we hope they just laugh.
Yeah, and I definitely feel like as a stand-up comedian, laughter is needed. Laughter heals. So having these inanimate objects that talk to you, who say some wild things at times, it just makes it funny. And as Lamorne said, you can sneak in. You can sneak in a little bit to educate someone. So now it's like, oh, I didn't know that, but you're laughing, so you're more receptive to it. Whereas if I just came out and said it to you, if you like you're watching, one of the news channels or whatever, you'd be like, click, you cut it off.
Yeah.
But when you're laughing, it's easier to receive the information.
So as comedians and also as writers, how have you been able to contribute either your talent through the writing with the show to help build up the character and to also give that commentary that's much needed, but on a lighter note?
For me, it's just taking the time to sit down with the writers themselves. Our process worked like this: they would write an idea, they would write the scene out, they would then come to the actors and say, "Hey, how do you feel about the scene? Maybe we want to put this in your voice more, so let's sit down and have this dialogue about it." And then it's a push and pull, right? You rehearse something, a workshop, an idea in front of the director. And the director is obviously the mastermind behind everything. So he has to, approve of what he's seeing to match his vision, obviously. So it's just it's like a weird, I like to call it a dance. We do a dance, we figure out where each other's chemistry is, and then we start to get into that rhythm.
I appreciate our director, Mo, giving us the free reign to improv at times. Where he'll give us, we'll have a scene and we'll do it, 4 or 5 times the way that it's written. And then he'll go, okay, kind of do it your way this time. And sometimes when you give us the opportunity to do it our way, now he's like, oh, that might end up being the final cut because it just gives you, the chance to really make it your own. A lot of times you can take someone else's jokes and you have to deliver them. You want to deliver and make them funny. But in your mind, you're like, oh, what if I did this to it, just tweak it a little bit, and just adding that in, that little bit of you, it helps you even make the character more yourself.
Yeah, because a lot of times when you're casting somebody, if you're casting T Murph, you're gonna want T Murph. You know what I mean? You're gonna want who he is because who he is already as a character. He's, especially being a stand-up comedian, he knows how to just do funny instantly, literally at the drop of a dime. Like boom, I can be funny. So you want to pull from that as well, because on his worst day as a comic, he's funnier than most people in the world. You know what I mean? So you have to pull from that. Otherwise, you're leaving a very valuable resource on the floor. You know what I mean? You gotta pull from what your castmates bring. And I think that's why the director, casting directors, the producers all did a great job of picking who they wanted to be the cast. Because they knew at times they would have to rely on our improvising. And like just like Murph said, bring a piece of yourself and it adds that little extra something.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you guys so much for speaking with me.
Thank you.
Oh, thank
It's a pleasure.
you.
Let's go ahead and cut decks on that.